So yeah, kind of lost us to exactly where I left off, because work phone call, and the pause on this didn't work too well for me. So yeah, I think we're talking about like playing well, getting good players to play against, looking for the situations so that you can kind of see them happening more often than not, and then like once you get way down the line, you'll probably get into different situations where you're kind of just checking the first couple rounds of like each game to try to see what's the best way to start it, because like most of our games, or pretty much every game, ends before round 5. There's probably a very small percentage of games that go past round 5, like at all. Like I guess some people just get milled out round 6, 7, whatever, to like random stuff, because both players like lost guys and they just can't get damage in. But I'd say like most of the meat of the game comes in the first couple rounds, because if one player can kind of just manhandle the other one and then like take a guy off the table, they put themselves in such good position that they're likely to just snowball the rest of the way, unless, you know, of course they gave up all their stuff. So like let's say I'm playing against a 2-character deck, both guys are important, and I price a failure both of my side characters away to kill one of their guys. My damage output's going to be pretty heavily lacking, because I can't combo and untap anymore. But if like in general I just, you know, did whatever upgrade and leadership once and took a guy out, then it's a whole different ball game, because I didn't give up much. But so yeah, it really just want to talk about like just the playtesting stuff, making sure you smooth your gameplay out, look for the situations, different matchups, and so like, how would I say this? Don't always only play against like tier 1 stuff. There's always going to be like new stuff coming out of the woodworks. So like that 4-wide hero deck that has a pretty good matchup versus R2P2 kind of came out of left field. So and now there's one of the patrons was playing that deck, and from my understanding he made it, and was all about that deck as he was like tweaking it and making the adjustments. So now, sure, not everyone will have seen, or most people just will have never seen the deck, but like you gotta give it a chance at times. Like I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. So like he needed to get testing in, see if like it could, you know, deal with the meta, and it was a good place, minus the fact that it has problems with like, you know, Rainbow 5, because Elite Bala will shred apart any 4-character deck, provided that he gets to stay alive. And against 4-character decks, you often get the time to stay alive. So he could, even if it's just round 2, he could like blow through 2 characters and now have decreased the damage immensely. So sometimes there's going to be a quirky deck in your local or one of your friends, and like don't shut them down very easily. At least if it looks fine, that's fine. But like I said before, like don't sit there playing against like Elite Finn, Akbar, Separatist base, because like from a standpoint that's just you're starting so far behind that even if your cool shit is real cool, like it's not good. Whereas like hired gun, rookie pilot, Ezra at least represents like something big there, I guess I'd say. Like it's been known for a while that 4-wide decks in general, assuming that, because all the like to build like 4-wide decks for the most part, you have to have real damage sides. Like you're not gonna sit there going, and I know this is hero and villain, I'm just saying it anyways. You're gonna go sit there and be like, oh, Bazine, Jar Jar, you know, whatever the hell. I can't even think of other guys that don't even have damage sides. Like that's how messed up this is. But like each of the hired guns has 2s and 3s. That's good. Rookie pilot is double 2. That's good. And then Ezra has a 1 and a 2. So like even if you're going with like the lowest damage sides on each, we're looking at 7 damage. It's going to cost both your resources, but like it's there and it exists. So if the deck has a way of either efficiently doing that every round, or just be like in that deck situation, it put supports out that also did damage. Like, you had the option of either ramping or going for the big damage hits. So they could even get to a round like casting something small and doing like 5 damage, just because if a hired gun found a 3 and you found the 2 on the rookie pilot, like the other 2 guys could have just went to like resources or doing whatever, and like that 5 damage is quite a large chunk. Whereas if you kind of see it from the eyes of, like, let's say Rainbow 5 only has 1-2 on each of the character dice. So shrinking in that 10 damage round 1 would be obscenely hard. But if we just count the 2 damage sides, like, they're just overall much higher with the hired guns. And now you're also looking at a higher health total overall. I think it was 32 for the entire 4-man team, and they're running second chances. So it's some crazy amount of health that people would have to blow through. So there's something going there. There's something going there for the deck, as far as like getting supports out, and just kind of like that first round ramp into, all right, now I don't mind blowing some resources into hired guns big damage, and okay, I'll Y-wing you for 4 and now take like 5 more, and it's just like, oh, that's actually a lot of damage. It's like, yes it is. So like that was a very good deck. Rebel Trooper with the 7th aggro deck with like the double price of failures. This is before the leadership versions. It's just like, oh, this is really interesting. There's something there. So like there is time for practicing against some of those decks, because there could be something in general there that's very good. So like, don't immediately kind of just shit on like the deck that might be tier 2 or tier 3, because maybe with some proper adjustments or character lineup changes, the theory of the deck ends up being very good. Because like I think one of the original 4-wide ones ended up using, I think, Outer Rim Smugglers to start. So it had 4 less like health, but when it cast the last card, it ramped into more resources, so it goes to the next round with 4 resources, made it much easier to cast things like Falcon, Y-Wing, U-Wing, any of the expensive stuff it wanted to do. And all it needed to really do was avoid a discard side from the opponent, and just set up to play the last card, because the inclusion of the new reroll or discard to reroll 0 made Outer Rim Smuggler a bit better, because you didn't have as tough a time just casting that last card. But let me think. I don't know if there's anything else I kind of want to talk about. Never go into a match just assuming, oh, I got this, I'm gonna win. You're asking to lose at that point. Like, it sounds stupid, but you are, because you're gonna go in kind of cocky. You're gonna be like, oh, I can do whatever here, doesn't matter, I'm gonna win. And now your Bala gets blown out round 1 by the 4-wide deck because you decided not to keep a He Doesn't Like You in hand, because you're like, oh, they're not gonna do damage, it doesn't matter, when you know that they can hit you really hard. And now you just got aided, and you're just like, oh crap, and now you lose. And since we're playing games of best of 1, in most situations, you can't really afford that. So even if you have like some crazy 80-20% matchup versus a deck, they do win 1 in 5 times based on that. So don't get overly cocky. Make sure you're playing tight, like I said, and just get through the match. Do it the normal way. Like, look for stuff. Just don't get so far ahead of yourself as far as, oh, I win this, that you end up dropping the game and losing. And then now you're X2, you're on the bubble, and you're just in a much worse position. You have to sit there praying for tiebreakers. Because in a big event, I would say you probably, get quote-unquote destinied out of the game once. Or just that you couldn't do anything in the match. And like, for me, that's almost the same as being destinied. Because I don't really believe in the, oh, he crazy god rolled me and killed me. Like, no, do you have nothing in your deck to deal with that? Do you not have at the time? Did you burn it early? Was that guy alive because you messed up something earlier in the game and you could have killed him? Like, did he have claim on the battlefield because you chose to resolve that one resource that you didn't need? Did you not, like, Ancient Lightsaber to the bottom so that after removing one of his dice, that comboed with the Ancient would have kept you alive? Like, there's these little small things that all add up over the course of the game. So, the best thing I can do is say is just try to get games in, like, watch other players. If you see people recording videos that are very good players, try to watch those, kind of learn from it. One of our coaching patrons, Anexa in particular, she'll watch one of the videos, and she'll be like, all right, and now in the coaching videos, or at least some of the coaching videos, my coaching videos, sometimes if we get to a point in the thing, it'll be like, all right, rolled out, okay, you know, what's your expectation here? What are you going to do? What do you think your opponent's going to do? The different stuff. So what she would do is she would go through the video and she would pause it, think, all right, this is what I would do because of XYZ, and then resume the video and kind of see what happens. Now, if you're kind of following along the same play line, and the person's a very good player, you're just like, okay, cool, I'm in the right mindset. Now, assuming that many actions later, it turns out that wasn't a wrong play, you'll know that you're kind of following the correct procedure. Now, if you call out a completely wrong play, and let's say it gets discussed why you don't do XY play, then you'll be at least more inclined to understand. You deciding to take a different option may not always necessarily like come to fruition, because it's kind of Goosebump status, where like the old Goosebump book, you had different options. You would turn to whatever page, and now your new options only went off of those options. So, like, sure, maybe you decided you wanted to get rid of that 2 damage the guy had, and now the player playing in the video didn't get rid of the 2 damage. You won't really know the next steps along that game, as far as like, all right, well, I wouldn't have took this 2, but then I wouldn't have had for this reroll, and I would have known that since I can't reroll here, I don't want to reroll this other die because the odds of this resource or shield becoming a better side were just not high enough. And since I only have 1 reroll instead of 2, I don't want to sit there trying to turn that into damage. Blah, 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 blah. But you can at least, like, kind of see the mindset of what's going on, and hopefully add not an extra skill set, it's like see the different options available and add it to your own repertoire, so that in the future you can more adequately decide whether you want to follow this play, your original, like, your normal line of plays, blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, watching videos or seeing games of better players can be very helpful. So, I would suggest that as well. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. But yeah, just if... So I would also just say record your own games. Record your games, rewatch them 1.5, 2 times speed, and like now really look at the situations action by action. Would you have made the same lines of play? And I don't mean by like remembering what you did, but I mean like when you look at it, it's like, oh, I have 3 damage here, I could go kill this guy, I'd resolve this, and then it turns out in the video you just forgot and you did like some other reroll. Or, alright, well, he's showing some damage here, I have this 3 damage, but I'm not really concerned about resolving my 3 because it doesn't do anything here, so let me take this resource so that I can cast this flank, because he hasn't rolled in, let's say, I don't know, Vader yet. And when Vader rolls in, you don't want to stare down a 3 and get punched in the face. You want to be able to answer it. So because you took the 3 damage instead of taking the resource, you now can't cast the removal. And you're like, wow, why would I do this? I need to be aware of this more often. So I'd say record your own games and like rewatch them, especially the times you get into like a good game. Like the ones where you steamroll someone probably just really aren't worth watching again. But the closer ones can help you like find the understandings of different things. Especially since right now a lot of decks have some cool trick play. Whether it's like Miaz, the Force No Mercy, like lightsaber throws, Bane switches, the multiple untap stuff, all-ins. All-ins, a very big play that like gets people with their pants down, especially with stuff like the old R2P2. Anything with like a 2 focus side and an all-in represents huge amounts of damage very often. Now that we're looking at Yoda all the time, like a big all-in could change that special from Yoda and this whatever side into 2 focus, plus like let's say a resource to now represent like 5 damage, 6 damage, and that's going to be kind of scary at times because you could just die at any moment. But all right, so on Sarcastic with the Hyperloops. I guess I'm not really going anywhere because I'm driving, but I think I'm out of stuff for the video, and I just don't want to keep saying keep you for forever. So this is part 2, and we'll see if the article I do today is more about this stuff and anything that I end up leaving out. But today, I don't even know what day I'm going to end up releasing this. So yeah, we'll find out. Deuces, thanks for watching. Hyperloop out.